Oh, motherfucker, you can't have my cornbread. That's for damn sure. Because if you try to take my cornbread, part 2 of my killing spree gonna begin up in here on your ass right now. If you think about my cornbread, they get the taste out your mouth. That's for damn sure. Now, fuck him. Fuck that. Because I'm from New York City, goddammit. Nobody take no cornbread from me. That goes for you and any other you motherfucking farmers wanna try some shit. You fuck around with me, it's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
Haters gonna hate. And ain'ters gonna hate.
Yo! What up, what up, what up, what up? What's good, y'all? It's Maestro Styles and Trey Frazier here with the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast.
Sir, yes, sir.
Let's hit another round of applause for your homies here real quick. What's good, folks? Hey, man, you guys can follow us right here on the website, www.barbershopsportstalkpodcast.com. You want to listen to the show live and get to the chat room, just go to the website, click on the live feed, click the chat bubble, get up in the chat room, chop it up with us, whatever you want to talk about this evening. Also, follow us on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2, as well as Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. And you can also follow us on the Facebook page as well. So, it's been a week, but we back in the flesh.
Yes, indeed.
What's popping, man?
Hey, man, I say this without, divulging some of my personal family issues.
Hey, keep it quick, man.
I'm glad to be talking sports right now. That
I hear you.
I'm glad to be talking sports right now.
I hear you, brother.
And we'll leave it there.
I hear you, brother.
I'm glad that right now, in this moment, we talking sports.
It's the best distraction.
The best distraction.
Is it that?
But I will say prayers out to family. Pray for the family. No, I'm not going to tell you, but just if you're a prayer warrior, please send some prayers to the family.
No doubt. And as a matter of fact, I'll do this, man. Let's just send prayers to everybody's families out there, man. Shout out to all the listeners. Shout out to all the fans that tune in weekly. We're going to send prayers your way as well, man. I don't know what you guys are dealing with on a personal level, but, man, if you could, sit and tune, check us out every week, every Tuesday. Get your mind right, listen to some sports talk, and gut it out with us, man. I mean, that's really appreciative. And whatever you're going through, whether it's good or bad, we're just gonna send prayers your way.
Man. So to sports,
yeah,
I want to give a shout out to Jaron Williams of University of Miami, who is my stepfather's nephew. He started his first game as a freshman. He played against Florida.
Yep, congratulations on
Saturday,
that first start.
Played as well as I could imagine, considering the circumstances.
Right.
I think we've both made it a personal goal of improvement of ours to start watching more college football.
Right.
And I will say I watched the second half of the game. It was interesting, but I'm not gonna lie to you, sports fans and listeners. It's a hard sell for me to give up my Saturday afternoons for because it's all day.
Yep.
If you watch it, it's all day. It's a hard sell for me to give up.
Now that's one thing I can't do.
I can't give up my Saturdays to be proficient in
from
college
noon
football.
to midnight. I can't do it.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it because one, you're asking me to give up my Saturday, sir. I don't need that distraction right now. I can't give up my entire Saturday. And if I'm going to give up my entire Saturday, I just want more polished product. I think that's the only way.
It was definitely a sloppy game.
Just me watching that game. It was too many missed tackles. It was like I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy it. Mm-hmm. I can't see me watching it every Saturday.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of sloppy football. All the sacks given up. Some terrible decision making. Coaching was questionable. At best it was questionable. And just some of the just some of the like what the hell moments. You know, the final play of the game. Like how do you miss that snap? Like how does the offensive line allow that to happen on a final play where you could win the game? And it's funny because you said on Facebook that this was one of the reasons why you couldn't watch or pay attention to college football. When we had this conversation, maybe it was a year or two ago about college football, our beef with it was so much more towards the lack of defense being played in the sport. Mm-hmm. And we can say what we want about the score of that game. I think, what was it, 24-20?
Yeah, 24-20.
We can say what we want about that. It felt like a defensive effort, but it really wasn't a defensive effort. Like, it really wasn't like just two defenses just really, going after it really, really good. Well, it was just more sloppy offensive play. The
offensive line play was terrible on the behalf of Miami. It wasn't as good for Florida either, but specifically Miami. Mm-hmm. The offensive line play was bad, and what irritated me the most about it is that they I want to say it was early. Okay, I watched the second half, but I think I did catch it right before halftime.
Right.
So I noticed in the second quarter that at one point when Miami had got their offense going, I think they scored on their drive to make it 7-6. They realized, okay, we need to keep it back in the backfield to chip off this 92 guy, because this 92 guy for Florida is the truth.
Yep.
He keeps beating this tackle consistently, and we need him to be chipped in order for us to have time to throw the ball.
Right.
And they did that, and the offense was starting to pick up. And then in the second half, they forgot about keeping the running back in the back the block, to chip this 92 guy. And it just got worse and worse off the strength that Jaron Williams was running for his life. And I said to my man Vince on Facebook, Florida would have been upset in that game if Jaron Williams had a line. This was not Jaron Williams' fault. I feel like I'm already caping for him, even though I don't know the dude. I just know he related to me.
Just because he related in some way.
But tell me I'm lying if you think I'm lying. I'm not saying to you. I'm just saying to anybody who's listening. The dude had no blocking for a majority of this game. He was sacked 10 times. I think he fumbled. I think he only lost one fumble, but I think he fumbled like 2 or 3 times in the game. It was just a lot, man. It was just a lot. I hope they sort that out. They probably won't, but I hope they sort that out. Definitely congratulations to Florida on the win. Yep. But that definitely, in my mind, should have been a upset in what they call Week 0. I
didn't realize the football was starting this early. In the season. That's a little different. Usually, it's Labor Day weekend.
College football starts a little earlier, so that's normal. Right. I think. Like I said, I think I recall a broadcaster calling this Week 0. So you know what I'm saying. So
and that's why.
Yeah. So
because it was just the one game, right?
Right.
It wasn't enough. Nobody else was playing.
Well, there were other games on.
There were other
maybe not prime time, but I think there were other games.
Okay.
Yeah, there were other schools playing.
Okay.
But man. But I definitely do want to shout out Jaron Williams. My mother missed out on the opportunity to wear the turnover chain over the weekend. She called me and told me that somebody offered her to wear the chain, and she told them no because she didn't know what it was, and she just wasn't interested. But my mother definitely missed an opportunity to flick it up with the turnover chain.
Yeah.
They drove out there. They gave her the red carpet treatment, as she would say.
Right.
But definitely shouts out to Trent Williams. Much wish success. Reach back, man. We want to talk to you. Especially if you start balling.
Yeah, no doubt.
We definitely want to talk to you if you start balling.
No doubt.
So we're going to extend that hand out.
That would be some good content there.
Hope somebody get that word out to Jaron Williams. I guess we kind of.
Well, look, you say he's part of the family.
He's part of the family, but see, I'm weird about shit like that.
Okay.
I didn't know the dude before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the dude after. I'm weird about acting like, yo, what's up? Like, what do I call you? Like,
well, I wouldn't do it this way. Here's how I would do it. And we had sort of a similar experience with trying to promote our brand in Atlanta a few years ago, via my mother, but things didn't work out so well. But hey, I would just, pull moms to the side, be like, hey, you get a chance to talk to, get a chance to talk to him. Hey, let him know, hey, I got a son and his mans do a podcast and stuff. They, I'm sure they'd like to have you on and talk about your college career and all that good stuff, and see how that materializes versus her actually saying, hey, my son wants to meet you, my son wants to have you on.
Yeah, I'm just not good at being a hop on. I guess is what I was getting to. I don't like feeling like I'm hopping on because who he is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's not my vibe. But you
might have to. You might have to.
Not like that. I won't.
The way I said it.
Okay, all right.
Is the way to go about it.
Right.
That's the way to go about it.
Right. So. But definitely shouts out to Jaron Williams. I ain't gonna lie. I feel weird saying a part of the family because I don't know the dude nothing better. But I guess we all have family we don't know. So,
we all do that. It's so funny. Like it's so funny. I'm gonna be quick about the story. So I have two cousins, right? And both of these cousins, they don't know each other, but my cousin Steve in New Jersey, his sister is Vanessa Williams, who used to be in Soul Food and some other movies and stuff like that. And I have yet to meet her. And I probably won't ever meet her.
Right.
My other cousin, who I think she's in New York, but I think she's in New York now, but she was living in Georgia for a number of years. Her brothers are Guy and Joe Torre. And so, again, haven't met these guys, So,
but you don't call Guy and Joe Torre your family.
No,
either.
no,
kind of that's kind of like how I feel about this Jaron Williams thing.
Yeah, and I figured so.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here but
I figured
play
so.
that game, but yeah, definitely shouts out to Jaron Williams. Much wishes. I meant to bring while we're talking about family and kind of that issue or that subject.
Yeah.
So your girl is on First Take. Is hosting First Take now.
Yeah. So I wanna do that. I thought I'd probably have an opportunity to do that in the middle of the show, but since you brought that out, I do want to give a special shout out to Roz Golden Wude. She announced on her Twitter last week that she was leaving TNT and NBA TV to pursue, some other opportunities. And at that time, I didn't know what those opportunities were. Yeah. So once she came out and was like, hey, I'm about to do First Take, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Now you got New York City at the table now. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now it's, it's official, whatever. I got a couple of thoughts about her appearance.
I was going to ask, did you watch it?
I did.
I did.
I watched, and she did a good job. And actually, she did Thursday and Friday show, and she did yesterday and today's show. I think Molly's coming back tomorrow. And it's funny because when she first announced she was doing First Take, niggas was like, yo, like, they kicking Molly off, like, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, nigga, it was all types of stuff. Is Molly pregnant? Oh, they finally getting rid of Molly. She's so annoying.
Don't be like that.
Right. So here's my prediction, though. I think Roz's role is going to be replacing Michelle Beadle on the Countdown show.
Same thing I thought.
Yeah,
same thing.
I think she's perfect for it. She knows the sport. She's played it. She's going to give some good insight, and I truly think that that's going to be her role moving forward. She's probably going to be
doing more moderating than analytics.
But you know what? I think
not that she's not ever going to be able to talk. I'm just more so saying,
right?
She, you know,
but that's the role of the host. I mean, that's the role. James Brown does it. Yeah. You know, a few other guys do it.
But I'm speaking specifically for ESPN. When you go down the list of women and what they do,
right?
Outside of maybe Jemele Hill. I mean, when you think when you think about the history of that NBA show, is, you know, Michelle Beadle, Sage Steele, Doris Burke. It's women who are knowledgeable of the sport, but really they do more moderating than they do analytics. And
Doris Burke of that group more so, you know, has played. Yeah, you know, has a history of that, of those three.
But she still did more moderating than she did analytics.
She did more moderating, yeah. I think what's going to end up happening with Roz in that role, she's definitely going to give her insight on the game, on, you know, when they break down games and stuff. I definitely think it's going to be an interesting dynamic. We're just gonna have to wait and see who else, because I heard that Chauncey wasn't coming back, and that niggas was just like, yo, if Paul Pierce go, then, you know, so be it. Yeah, because, you know, cats think he was trying to be like the Charles Barkley of ESPN, and, you know, I don't know how well that worked out. Yeah, but you know,
well, I'll say this, and to the situation, I like the idea, and no shade to Molly Qerim. Molly Qerim has done a good job to my, you know, I'm used to seeing her now. Right. I don't think there was ever a time where I disliked Molly Qerim being the host of First Take. Right. But if I'm being honest, I would much rather Rosgold. Am I saying her name right?
Rosgold.
Okay, Rosgold. I'm not going to say her last name because I'm going to mess it up. Okay. I would much rather Rosgold be the host of First Take.
If you had your choice.
If I had my choice. And again, that's no shade to Molly. I want her.
I agree with you.
And, you know, again, no shade or disrespect to Molly Qerim. Rosgold is for much better eye.
But see, now this shapes up our top 5 women at ESPN. This sort of kind of changes my list now a little bit.
Well, I could tell you, we could do it real quick. It's still Cassidy number 1 for me.
Cassidy number 1. Okay,
but Rosgold is number 2.
Okay,
followed by Carrie. The L
Duncan.
Okay, and you could throw at number 5 whoever you want to throw at number 5.
Throw at number 5.
Molly, really,
right?
Molly, right? Molly. There you go, Molly. Yeah, that's why I didn't mention Molly.
Okay, so
actually, I take that back. I will put Molly in front of Molly at 4, L at 5.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go by this quick. I'm not really gonna use an order here, but obviously Roz is now part of their family, so Roz is on my top 5 women ESPN at this point. It's still Carrie, it's still Cassidy, it's still Molly, and man, I'm struggling with the 5th one, man. I'm really like,
because you left L out.
I'm really. I don't know.
Well, you know, realer than L.
I've seen her without makeup, and it.
I hear you.
And you know what I'm saying?
I hear you. But
I've seen her without makeup, and it's like, okay.
Okay, so Josina,
so much better. Yeah, and that's what I'm struggling with, because for a while I had
Josina with
in my top
with no hair. So I mean,
but then she grew it back, so it was like,
okay. I mean, Elle Duncan eventually put makeup back on.
Okay. I mean, does it equate the same?
Well, in the sense of you seeing her in a way that was undesirable, and then seeing her again in a way that's desirable. Yes,
because see, not having the hair is
like
more of a permanent thing than.
But you didn't like her. But it's gone now. So the no hair is gone. You get what I'm saying?
No, I get that part, but I'm saying the fact that she didn't have hair, that was so. I guess that felt like a permanent thing for a while. At least with Elle Duncan not having makeup on, at least in the back of my head, I knew that. Oh, she's eventually. I mean, she works on TV, she's gonna put makeup on consistently, but when you look at IG, some of the pictures without her makeup on, it's like,
I hear you.
I Josina. I'll keep Josina on there.
I mean, I kind of wish you would rank it, but we got other things to talk about.
Yeah, we definitely got a wrap. But let me say what up to the chat room real quick here. Deacon Dell, what's good, man? What's going on? It's been a minute. Also DJ Chuck and the homie Kevin Gray from Clutch Conversations, man. Appreciate everybody joining the chat room. So I guess we got to get to the story of the week or the weekend per se. And as I was watching that sloppy game on Saturday,
but entertaining. I want to make sure I said that I was entertained.
Entertaining game.
Watch it next week.
Close game. Suspense because the score was close. My wife is like, "Hey, babe, Andrew Luck's retiring." I was like, "Huh?" She was like, "Yeah, I saw it on the screen. It's in red."
Yeah.
And I went to Twitter, and man, the Twitter just blew up, man. Caught people by surprise.
Andrew Luck retires at 29 years old after 7 years with the Indianapolis Colts.
Yep.
And he attributes his retirement decision to mental strain, dealing with the injuries in the past 2 years. Look, who am I? Who am I, man? If you felt like it was time to go,
then it's time to go.
Then it's time to go.
Then it's time to go, man.
And that's just what it is, and that's just what it's going to be.
Yeah. I'm not going to get into the conversation about a person's toughness or whether they soft or not. That to me, that's not an issue for me. Just a few things from my perspective on this. What I found hilarious was fans at the preseason game against Chicago finding out, like, through their phones and stuff, while Andrew Luck is on the sideline during this game, was fans finding out that this guy's not going to be their quarterback anymore moving forward. And then everybody wants to talk about whether it was right for the fans to boo or not. Listen. As somebody that's bought season tickets to Ravens games and have, made an investment on a season, I can tell you that if I thought the season was going to go sideways, or if a season did go sideways, then I'd be disappointed in my investment.
Right.
And I'm sure that many of those fans who were in those stands purchased season tickets. They want to see Andrew Luck. They want to see the roster that Ballard built around this guy. People thought that they were going to be contenders for the Super Bowl, even though I disagree.
Right.
But that's what people thought. You're fans, and you're investing into this season, and you find out during the middle of a preseason game that you're not going to have your quarterback.
Yeah.
I understand. To the people that are, shame on the fans, and that's disgusting. Man, shut the hell up.
Man.
First of all, to the people that are like, it was shameful, it was gruesome, shut the hell up.
Oh, man. Oh.
Listen, I'm a fan.
You bringing the heat early.
I'm a fan. And again, and just to go deeper into my experience with purchasing season tickets, it was the 2015 season, and we were predicted for the Super Bowl and all that stuff. The Ravens got the roster. It's all set and everything. Man, I bought season tickets. And it wasn't just the fact that I could go to these games, but it was more so to the fact that even the games that I can't go to, I can, sell these tickets online, StubHub, get a return on the investment on some of the games, and maybe go to a few during the season. Man, the Ravens went 0-3. Suggs went out the second game. The season was over.
Damn.
After 0-3. I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I was disappointed.
Yeah.
Now it's like, damn, who gonna buy tickets? Who gonna buy tickets at the price I'm trying to put it to?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. How you gonna make a return on investment?
Yeah, exactly. So from that standpoint, if I'm disappointed about a season being 0-3, then I'm sure fans that are witnessing this during the preseason are disappointed. I'm sure of that. Look, man, fans are gonna be fans.
Well, I disagree with you to a point. I understand why they booed, but and the reason, the way I see it, they booed. First of all, they wasn't expecting to be sitting here enjoying the preseason game. You know, however the preseason game went, I don't know if they won or lost, or it was good for them or bad for them.
Right.
And just be sitting there and enjoying the game, and then you find out Andrew Luck is retired. He's sitting on the field. You know what I'm saying? Hell, he didn't know that it was about to get leaked. You know what I'm saying? He expressed it.
Right.
He didn't know he didn't know that the news was going to be out that he retired while he was sitting on the bench of a game.
Somebody leaked it.
Yeah, somebody leaked it, obviously. Yep. So I understand their response. I don't like their response because, bruh, y'all don't know what's going on. Y'all don't know, but all you know is, as of the point where they started booing and when the news hit, is that he's retiring, and that you may have heard about him saying, the excuses of mental strain.
Sure.
That's all you heard. That guy deserves the shot to have a press conference and explain to. Of
course, he deserves that.
Right.
Yep.
So I didn't like it. I understand it because nobody at a football game is thinking about, well, damn, what happened where he felt like right now.
And it was sort of unprecedented.
Yeah. Who does that? So my understanding, he was supposed to do that press conference on Sunday, that Sunday. So for it to get leaked now, it's like, oh shit, like what?
And in the fan's perspective, it's like, wait, what just happened? Like they showed a fan literally taking off the Andrew Luck jersey,
but
he's in the stand.
But the fans are shocked, and that's cool. Imagine how Andrew Luck felt.
Well, yeah, I mean,
he had a plan on how this was going to be handled. I'm sure he talked to Ballard and Frank, and they sat together and said, "This is what I'm gonna do."
Yep.
And they said, "This is how we're going to do it." And a wrench like that was thrown into their plans.
Yep.
That's not the way he wanted people to find out. He has a fan base, obviously, of people who, respect him and admire him. He deserved that shot to be able to say, I'm retiring, this is what's happening. And then I don't like it. And it's funny because he was so damn professional about it. And it's funny, my father just left over here, and he was saying some of the same things I was thinking when I was hearing about people born.
Right.
Man, I would have, this is my father said verbatim, man, I would have went out on the bottom of the field and whipped my Johnson out.
to do what now? To signal what?
To taunt all you fans who are booing me because I'm making a personal decision for my health and my life to retire. All of y'all can kiss my whole entire ass. You could who y'all? Look, I get it. It's a game, but understand what this shit is. This is a game. This is entertainment. I don't give a flying fuck about what y'all think, what y'all expectations for this team was. None of that when it comes to the fact that I don't think I'm gonna live the rest of my life healthy to entertain y'all. Oh, you got me fucked up. And that's selfish, and I get it. Fans are selfish. I get it. That's selfish of fans to act that way, and that's just what it is. It's selfish of fans to act that way, even as it happened that sporadically.
Can I separate the fans for a second in terms of, I'm sure you had fans booing Andrew Luck, the quarterback, his decision to retire on the spot. I'm also certain that you had fans just sort of kind of boo the situation. Not so much booing Andrew Luck, but just booing the fact that, damn, like, we was looking forward to the season, and now all of a sudden it's questionable if we're going to make the playoffs or not.
I disagree.
So Folks,
I'm sorry.
So you're saying...
I just want to understand what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
You're saying that you think there were fans that were booing that weren't booing at Andrew Luck?
No. I'm saying I think there was a separate group of fans that was booing Andrew Luck personally. Mm-hmm. And I also think that there were fans that were just sort of booing the fact that this season is now just sort of in question right now.
No, I think every fan in there that was booing I think every single fan
that's tough.
That booed when Andrew Luck was walking wherever he was walking and when the news was leaked.
Right.
Every single fan that booed, in my opinion, was booing Andrew Luck. What are you doing to my season? Because let's be clear, if they were booing that sentiment, like you're saying,
right,
that sentiment is because of Andrew Luck. That's the only reason that sentiment is felt.
Well, sure,
it's because of Andrew Luck. I don't think nobody was out there like, let me boo right now because our season's fucked up. Because the truth is, and I don't think so, but the truth is that Brissett could come in, ball, and
that is the truth. But to the fans, they don't know that. and again,
well, the truth is that they don't know if Andrew Luck was going to get them to the Super Bowl.
Well, sure, but the season looked promising. The Colts sold to their fans that this was going to be a season to not forget. And when you sell that to fans, that's why they make the investment in the season. And to find out at that moment, the timing to some fans was a bit off.
The timing is bad. I agree with that.
The timing was off, and it was unexpected.
But it's not. But they don't control that timing. They didn't control that timing. This was leaked.
Of course.
I'm with you. I'm with you there. Mm-hmm. Do you think? So do you think then that you spoke about them selling that this was going to be a special season? Do you think season ticket sales went up because of them selling this season?
Do I think the sales went up?
Of season ticket holders. Like, do you think season ticket holders increased specifically this year because of whatever they were pushing during the offseason?
I think so, and I think for a couple of reasons. Number one, there's always been this narrative that Andrew Luck never had a full, complete team around him,
which he did
up until, and I agree.
He still
with
doesn't.
That. And you don't like the roster.
He still don't have an offensive line.
He was only sacked 18 times last year. The line protected him pretty good last year.
I don't think they protected him pretty well last
He
year.
only was sacked 18 times last year.
Based on what's the average number? What's the average number a quarterback should be sacked in a year?
That should be sacked. It's probably about that. You figure on 18 times on average, that's almost a sack and a little per game. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. If you're sacked only 18 times compared to what he was in previous seasons, like some of his sack numbers were in the 40s.
Yeah. Hold on, because I did have this pulled up. 2018. He was sacked 18 times, and in 2015, because he was injured that year, so that don't count.
He was injured that year, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But look at those
sacks are down. I get it.
41 sacks the first year, and then 41 again. What year was that? 20?
The year before. Before last.
16.
Yeah, so 16.
Where he only played half the season. Did he play half the season?
He played 15 games.
15. He played half the season. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The dude had 40 plus sacks in 2 seasons, and to drop that from 41 to 18, that's a significant drop.
That is a significant drop.
And on top of that, Quentin Nelson was a beast last year of an offensive lineman.
How much?
They built this roster. He has a better roster now than
he does have a better roster.
Period. Marlon Mack,
and that's what I was just getting ready to say. Marlon Mack makes people have to back up off. Back off.
And if he could stay healthy all 16 games, Marlon Mack's going to be a problem. T.Y. Hilton's T.Y. Hilton. We already know that. The defense has you know.
Yeah, they've made strides.
They've made some strides. This roster's better. So this is what was sold to the fans in Indy, is that we got a chance. We have an opportunity to do something special. And PSLs, I don't know if they do PSLs in Indy, but chances are that number went up. Ticket sales for single game tickets, I'm sure that went up. merchandise.
Yeah, I hear you. We're going to fact check that, though. I don't know about this campaign that they were selling, and I don't know how it worked out for them. Mm-hmm. But I can tell you, I'm just from the national scene.
Yep.
You know, just me being a lowly podcaster in the DMV, I have not heard anything of anybody or any news broadcast of any podcast of NFL podcasts that I listen to. Or sports podcast that I listen to, I have yet to hear anybody say the Colts now are a Super Bowl contender this year. And I understand what you're saying. That's a local Indianapolis thing. But I would think that if this was...
I think a couple of national guys made mention of that also. I think Keyshawn Johnson made mention about it.
Hear that.
I think Damian Woody said something about it. I'm just kind of guessing here.
I would love to hear that.
I think there were a couple of national guys that said that. But yeah, definitely the local
and
stuff.
I definitely heard that they were 9-1. The odds were 9-1. That I think I heard that somewhere that they were 9-1 with Andrew Luck, and they dropped. You know,
and it dropped significantly. Right.
But still, fans, it's a game. Grow up. Booing, I'm all for stating your disdain. I'm all for that. The booing, nah, you can miss me with the booing. You can miss me with that. And you can flat out miss me with that.
Okay.
So also in that story, he was alleged or reported to miss out on $60 million by retiring. I read a story that said
that money's more than that, and you're probably talking about
it was 58 million. 58 million.
It was
58 million.
Okay, I think that number refers to what's left on the contract. I think that's what the number refers to. But I heard Irsay say something about he's missing out on $500 million.
$500 million.
Yes, and the reason I think the reason he said that was because look, he expects to have Andrew Luck long term.
Okay,
but I'm saying that's why he said that. That's
speculation. I'm talking about on contract $60 million. We can't speculate if he stays for 15 years. That's
no. I'm not speculating if he stays or not.
Irsay's speculating that.
Sure, he is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that Irsay said that.
Right. So you and Irsay are speculating that. That's a speculation.
No. I'm saying that he's speculating that. I don't necessarily agree with that figure.
There's no way in my mind that Irsay is going to get me to believe that he missed out on $500 million because he knows beyond a shadow of a doubt.
I disagree with him too.
Yeah, so Irsay, you can
I'm just telling you that's what he said.
Yeah, well, Irsay, you can miss me with that bullshit. How about that, Irsay?
Yeah.
But $60 million is what he's going to miss out on contractually if you know when he retired. Now I read something that's saying they are going to give him that money.
Yeah, and I texted
as a severance package.
Yeah, I messaged you about whether because you had said that he had to get some money back, and you text me something showing that he was going to have to give the money back, right. And then a day later, they're saying they're going to give him.
They're going to give him the money.
So
back.
They're going to make him keep the bonus money. Or
I don't know exactly what's being kept and what's being paid back. I would imagine the per game salary he's not going to get that. I would imagine any guaranteed money is probably what he's going to get. That's me assuming. But I got a question. So I was reading this and I'm sitting here thinking, well, let me take this back. I didn't think this. Somebody at work asked me this and she said nobody thought about this. So I asked you and I asked our listeners.
All right.
If the roles were reversed and RG3 played for the Colts for 7 years and had the career that Andrew Luck has had up until his retirement, would they be giving RG3 this money?
Firsthand, my initial reaction is hell no. They wouldn't. And quite frankly, I would say this also to further that point. I think RG3 will be getting killed in the media over the way the announcement of the retirement transpired. He'd be getting killed more than Andrew Luck would be.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And I'm talking about because for all intents and purposes, everybody still felt like going into the season, Andrew Luck was going to be a top 10 quarterback in this league.
Yep.
And he was going to show up and show out. And, like, I mean, I don't know about all the Super Bowl shit that you was talking about.
As far as what?
You know, Irsay saying they going to be Super Bowl contenders and them selling their fan. I don't know about all that. But I do know that everybody's expectation for Andrew Luck was he was going to play like a top 10 quarterback this year.
Okay.
You know, coming off of the season he came off of last year.
Right.
There was no reason for anybody to believe that he wasn't going to be one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league this year. And taking the Colts at least to the playoffs or, you know...
Right.
You know, having a winning season.
Yep.
So me and my coworker were trying to figure. We were thinking about situations where players retired early and things of that nature. And the person who came to mind was Calvin Johnson. So Calvin Johnson retires at, I want to say 30. 30.
At 30.
Retires at 30. And you know, she Googles Calvin Johnson, whatever, and comes up on a headline that says Calvin Johnson and the Lions to this day are beefing because they made Calvin Johnson pay back $1 million for retiring. So, and you know, if we're to look at the level of
$1 million, and I don't mean to cut you off. $1 million. I would like to know $1 million out of how much money he took home prior to that retirement. That's something I would interestingly like to.
Well, here's know. Here's where my argument is. Agree or disagree? Calvin Johnson is the most important player in the Detroit Lions franchise next to Barry Sanders.
Yes, he's number 2.
Number 2.
Yep.
I mean, since Barry Sanders,
he's number 2.
There has not been a more influential, important player on the Detroit Lions team than Calvin Johnson.
I'll go further than that. Not even since Barry. I'm talking about the history of the franchise.
Yeah. There's Barry Sanders and there's Calvin Johnson.
Johnson is number 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
So where would you say in Colts history Andrew Luck ranks? Peyton Manning,
Johnny Unitas,
Marshall Faulk.
It's funny because I see Marshall Faulk as a Ram more than I do
throw him out. Marvin Harrison for certain. Reggie Wayne, no doubt. Dwight Freeney. Robert Mathis.
Yes.
All these players, are above Andrew Luck in Colts totality.
Yeah.
The center.
I like where you're going with this.
The center. Jeff Saturday. 6. All these. Dallas Clark. Would you say Dallas Clark? That's probably where it's a reach.
I think Dallas Clark is a
reach. So 6 players that are
Edger and James.
6 players. I'm sorry, that are more important to Colts history than Andrew Luck. Calvin Johnson is number 2.
Yeah.
And y'all made him pay back $1 million?
Yeah.
I think you let that $1 million ride if you could pay.
Right.
If you could let any percentage of $58 million go to the wayside for Andrew Luck, you could let that $1 million go for Calvin Johnson. It's a conspiracy. I don't like it.
It's a conspiracy, although I would, and I know you don't have the answer. I know you don't have the information in regards to what his contract was back then.
Fame Rothstein says Chris Spielman is number 2. Get the holy...
What, Lions?
Get the fuck
the Lions
out of here, respectfully.
Nah,
get the hell out of here.
Look, I don't pretend to know Lions history.
It ain't Chris Spielman,
but you can't tell me from an influential standpoint that Calvin Johnson in the history of the franchise that he's not number 2.
That's crazy.
In a hit, look,
we're not entertaining your conversation. Damn it!
How many Super Bowls have Lions been to?
0.
Okay, they've won an NFL championship when it was just the NFL. But come on, the Lions have had a terrible history for a long time here. And look, you want to do Mount Rushmore? Fine, we could do that. You want to add Chris Spielman to that? Fine, but don't tell me that he's number 2.
I mean, shit.
Don't tell me he's number 2.
Yeah, he's not number 2. That you're tripping. I mean, influence, and culture. Nah. Production on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. How long was Calvin Johnson just the best receiver in the game, or at least top 3?
Right.
It was the 90s. I don't know that Chris Spielman was ever a top 3 linebacker in the league. I don't know that to be true.
Mm-hmm. How long did Chris Spielman play for the Lions?
I know Chris Spielman's run was in the early mid 90s. That's at least when I know of him. I don't know if he was in the 80s.
Okay.
I know that I could probably name 5 linebackers better than him.
5
in the 90s.
Lions linebackers?
No.
Linebackers
in the NFL. Because
Okay.
I'm talking about Calvin Johnson. When he was in his bag, there was nobody better than him.
Right.
There was nobody better than him.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah,
we can't support that. But you know what? Because I like you, Fame, I'm gonna give you an opportunity. I was gonna ignore your message, but you know what? You my mans.
And since we in the chat room, I just want to say hello to Shelly Q. Who else came in here? RC. What's going on, y'all? We just want to make sure we ain't forget nobody.
Dude, I don't think we talked to nobody. So
we didn't talk. Well, so I shouted out Clutch earlier.
Yeah, okay.
But he agrees with you about the booing. I just want to make sure and do that. But in response to Clutch, in response to that, and we'll move on here. I think if fans booed Andrew Luck, it's wrong. But I think if they were just expressing their disappointment with the announcement during that particular time, and now the situation is we've gone from possible Super Bowl contenders to now questioning whether we're going to make the playoffs or not. I understand.
So you
from
think?
The fans
So you think they
standpoint.
were booing their circumstance and not Andrew Luck?
I think there were select few fans that was booing the circumstance, and I think there were others that were booing Andrew Luck, and I think that part of it is wrong.
Give me a speculation of what percentage of people were booing Andrew Luck as opposed to booing the circumstance.
What percentage?
I mean, just guess.
Take a guess. I mean, you're talking about people that were drunk. Chances are, right? Right? I would say it's a small percentage that folks were booing the circumstance, the situation, and a large portion of the fans were booing Andrew Luck.
Would you say 70-30?
I would say 80-20.
Yeah,
I would say about 80-20.
I would say 95-5.
Okay.
If you're right.
Okay.
If you're right that somebody was doing the circumstance.
I don't think every single person in that building booed him personally. I have a hard time, believing that. I think fans a lot of times ain't shit. Oh, I agree with you there.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I think they more ain't shit than they are.
And look, they're fans. Fan is short for fanatic.
Yeah,
and
that's disgusting.
Chances are.
Well, I don't want to be a fan no more.
You don't want to be a fan no more?
I'm not fanatic about anything.
Yeah, I'm not fanatic either. So.
Number not working. Oh, am I not signed into my shit?
Wait, what you mean, man? Hey, Fame, man, don't.
Because I'm pretty sure I'm signed in.
So I was gonna say, man, don't put that out in the universe, man.
No, you can put that out there. That's fine.
Oh man,
but that means how we gonna fix it if we? Yeah, I'm signed.
Oh man,
I'm signed in.
Okay. Hey, try it again, man.
Am I 240-532-2718? That's the number, right?
Yeah, you put it in correctly.
All right, make sure.
You put it in correctly. Maybe he's typing it incorrectly.
I don't know.
Hey, Fame, check your, check the way you dialing numbers, man. You do that.
Angry Black Man is in the chat room. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man?
Andrew Luck worked out via money grab last week.
I think he worked out his money grab. Okay.
Mm-hmm. The fans might have booed him for how the retirement news came out. He got to walk away with $24.8 million up and deal with the boo birds.
Okay, so it sounds like ABM is just saying deal with it. Yeah. And he dealt with it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not was hurt. He said he was hurt by it. He dealt with it at the end of the day.
He might get a couple tweets or whatever, but Carla, what up?
What's up, y'all?
Hey, Fame, what's poppin', man?
You dialed the number wrong, didn't you?
Not much. Yeah, I was dialing 17. My bad.
See, I told you.
My bad to all the listeners.
Hey, Fame. Hey, before you go on here, man, just a couple weeks ago, I was rolling through your city, man. Wanted to stop off, but, y'all got some crazy traffic up there, man.
Oh, man, you should have hollered at me. I'd have met you anywhere and they treated you and the family dinner.
Yeah,
we met you anywhere either side of the bridge.
Oh, man.
You missed out on that.
I missed out. Hey, we was on a run anyway, man, but what's good, man?
The question was, who's the most influential? Not the best and most talented. If you're going by influential, definitely Chris Spielman. He's number 2.
Explain.
Because, well, one, he was a 4-time Pro Bowler, 3 times All-Pro from 88 to 95 for the Lions.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He solidified their defense in the early 90s. They had 2 players, him and Barry. Trust me, he was their defensive Barry.
But
he was the best. He became the best Mike linebacker in the division when Singletary retired.
I hear you, but was their defense good in the 90s? Like, look,
no, but he was. You see, trust me, dude was nice. Chris Spielman, he wasn't no sucker.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that he was a good player. He was definitely a good player from what I remember.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
No, he's not. He's right. He's like a notch up under. But here's the thing.
Yeah. So why he not in the Hall of Fame then?
In your opinion?
Like I said, he's it's the Hall of Fame, not Hall of really nice players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
he's in the College Football Hall of Fame, just not the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but Fame, and you broke down the stats for me. 4 times in the Pro Bowl, 3 times All Pro, 3 times All Pro, and that don't get you in the Hall.
I'm not sure. What's going. Remember, Michael Irvin didn't make it his first bout.
But this man played in the 90s, man. Like.
Right.
Is he
right.
like?
I'm
is
just
he?
Saying,
is he on like the veterans ballot or something at this point? Like,
I'm sure at some point. I think his last year was 97.
Okay.
So he's working on having played 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And his wife had cancer, and he had that little foundation through the Lions. Like, he's totally beloved in Detroit, and it had to be weird for him playing in Detroit, in Michigan, coming from Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is Ohio through and through. He's the first high school player to ever appear on a Wheaties box. Chris Spielman is.
Yeah, we just going to
trust me.
We just going to disagree, Fame, because when you the only thing that you said to me that spoke of influence is the Wheaties box thing. But I'm sitting here looking at I'm just looking at Calvin Johnson's, and before I even look at Calvin Johnson's highlights and awards. It's safe to say, I'm confident in saying this, that of all time ever in the NFL, Calvin Johnson is at least a top 10 wide receiver. Of all time. Probably, I would like to see how his career, went, see how he responded to injuries and maybe falling off, having a bad year coming back. The Lions have always put the ball in the air. 10 years before Calvin Johnson got there, Herman Moore was catching 120 balls a year from Scott Mitchell. And then they still had Robert Perryman. So I remember, but I'm just
saying he's just a stat monster. He's a stat filler. He's Tracy McGrady. He's Dominique Wilkins.
But those are
doesn't have any real juice.
But when you're talking about Dominique Wilkins, if you compare him to Dominique Wilkins, you're talking about one of the more influential people in basketball. And Dominique,
in that city,
one player that either one of them made better.
Huh?
Name one player that Dominique or Tracy McGrady made better.
Probably.
Or Calvin Johnson.
Well, Calvin Johnson made that whole team better. That's the only reason we was talking about the Lions in the 2000s.
Lions were relevant because of Calvin Johnson.
He made them so good. Well, why didn't they make the playoffs?
Because they had no other pieces besides him and Matthew
Stafford. They did make the playoffs. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. They made the playoffs like 2 years.
Like they made the playoffs.
Yeah.
I want to say
2011 and then 2014.
Yep.
Who was their quarterback?
Matt Stafford.
Kershaw's former teammate. My fault.
Yeah.
Stafford's still decent without him.
But he ain't.
How influential was
But
he?
none of the dudes he throwing the ball to now, none of them niggas ain't Calvin Johnson.
And did have
No, none of them are. None of them are. But because the reason why you can't really sell Calvin Johnson as being influential to me as a Cincinnatian, a Bengals fan, because I'm sitting here watching AJ Green's career go to waste because he got a suck-ass quarterback.
What
He's influential. If AJ Green isn't playing with the Bengals right now, Andy Dalton would have been out the league.
Yeah, but
That's influential. You keeping somebody else in the league, and that's what AJ Green did. He got old boy paid.
So is it?
Andy Dalton.
So is it difficult? So is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Is it true or maybe not crazy to think that maybe Calvin Johnson kept Matt Stafford relevant? Is it that crazy to say that?
Stafford had a decent year last year.
I mean, Stafford is a good quarterback. I ain't going. I don't. And if we're talking about levels, Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback than Andy Dalton. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, I agree.
You know
with
what I'm
that.
saying? That's just.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right, that's what I'm saying. Influential. I got a biased point of view on this as a number one receiver because I'm watching my number one receiver, who should be unequivocally in the top 2-3 receivers conversation, but he rarely gets mentioned because he's got a sucker as a quarterback. That's influence. AJ Green, he's got Andy Dalton's family owes AJ Green a thank you.
I don't think
for getting us paid,
but I don't think
and creating us $100 million contract. I'm sorry.
I don't think nobody owed Chris Spielman money though.
The '90s Lions defense does. Yes, they do.
I don't think so,
Chris
man.
Spielman was that dude when it was a running league. Take up that fullback on the ISO. There was nobody better than Chris Spielman.
I remember the Detroit Lions being in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken,
Like 4 times in the 90s, something like that.
Was it that many?
I feel like it was that many because remember Barry
The
Sanders.
only time I specifically remember was '91.
Yeah, that's.
I remember watching the Cowboys lose to.
And then the Redskins play him in the playoffs.
I don't recall that. I recall the '91 season. I recall the '91 season.
But let me say this too, though, before you guys go. I think you're lowly rating my man Luck too. I'm not saying he's number 2, but he's way higher than 6th for the Colts.
As far like
he's the
in
number
the
one pick. He lived up to his expectations.
No, he did not.
How didn't he?
No, he
He
did
didn't
not.
have a line.
No,
You see that video of him telling? You see that video of him telling his coach like, "Yo, I got to get back out there. I don't want people to think I'm running with my tail between my legs."
Listen,
coach, like, no, don't worry about it. Don't go back out there. Everybody know you ain't running. Go ahead. Let me hear this. Go ahead.
Fame, I'm glad you brought this up because I was going to have this conversation with Maestro about this on the show.
And we can just have it now.
Andrew Luck is a disappointment when it comes to, and maybe you disagree with the word. Maybe you disagree with the word that I'm using.
Well, I can only go on the word, and I 100% disagree with that.
Sure. But they anointed this cat before he got in the league. They expected this dude to be that dude, a top 2, top 3 quarterback, and
he was when he was healthy.
He
wasn't top 2, but he was definitely one of the best.
He's got bona fide legends in front of him, but between Brady and Rodgers and those type of guys. But now you take away, and Breeze, take away them 3, he's in that next 2 or 3.
But listen,
I agree with you 100%.
But listen, check this out. Andrew Luck, and look, you guys might disagree with me on this. What Aaron Rodgers is right now, and what maybe he was in the last 5-6 years, what Aaron Rodgers is right now, and you could look up the stats, you can watch the games, and you could watch the skills that he has. That's what Andrew Luck was supposed to be, based on the anointment of him coming into the league, based on the expectations that the media had for this guy.
The fundamental difference between Andrew Luck and Aaron Rodgers is, one, Aaron Rodgers was coached up and got to watch Brett Favre for 3 years.
Yep.
got to watch, got to read all the
Sure.
benefits of knowing you're not going to play and getting to learn the game and all that.
No doubt.
He had 3 years of that before he had to go out and play football.
No doubt.
And Andrew Luck was thrown into the wolves with no offensive line for the majority of his career. We spoke about his last year where his sacks was down.
Yep.
But for
on a 1-15 team his rookie year,
his entire year.
And that's the one thing I give him credit for. Was that first year he came in, he took over a 2-14 football team, and he had 7 come from behind game-winning scores.
That's not all
to win. I give him credit for that. I give him credit for that.
Trey. Let me say this, and I'm gonna hang up and listen, Maestro. Let y'all finish. Let me say this, Trey.
Yep.
Every number 1 pick can't be Peyton Manning, can't be Patrick Ewing, can't be Ken Griffey Jr. Mm-hmm. You can't expect that out of every number 1. For a number 1 pick in less than 10 years, and on the team he had, Andrew Luck, I'm not gonna say he outplayed the number 1 pick, but I would be okay with it. I would feel like I got my money's worth out of it.
Okay, sure, but
he did his job.
Sure,
and he's higher than 6.
Sure, but I'm just talking about the expectations that people had for this guy. He came in, he helped get that first year. That first year, he got that team to the playoffs, and they got to the playoffs a couple more times after that. But when you look at the numbers, 171 touchdowns, not bad. Not bad over 6.5. I guess you got to say 5 seasons because he missed the one and then he played half of another one. So 5.5 seasons, 171 touchdowns. Let's not forget, folks, this guy was a turnover machine as well.
He had
83 interceptions, and that's not all. But I recall a lot of moments where he fumbled a lot. And he would put his team out of the game early. There were a lot of those moments, but again,
it's a passing league. It's a passing league. The ball's going to be in the air more, so his interceptions are going to be higher than in the past because now it's a passing league. But that kid, he lived up to his contract. I think so. I think he lived up to the number 1 pick designation. I don't know what more we wanted from.
Well, I'll put it like this:
you give him an offensive line. You give him an offensive line. He's Drew. You give him an offensive line. He's Drew Brees in New England.
I'll just say this:
before he got replaced,
Andrew Luck, from the time he got drafted to the time he announced his retirement, Andrew Luck, to me, was always a good quarterback. He was not great. I'll put it like that.
I'm gonna let you go, fam. All right,
y'all be safe. I'm gonna keep listening, though. Be safe.
No doubt, man.
All right. Yeah, but
Andrew Luck was good. I don't think he was great.
But I think what you're not taking enough consideration to in this conversation is that this good that you're referring to. For his entire career, outside of the last year when Marlon Mack came along, he had no running game. Everybody knew exactly what the Colts were going to do from the time he was a rookie until 2018. They knew exactly what they were going to do. They don't have to put 8 in the box ever. Right. They could play back and wait for him to throw. And this dude threw the ball better than most quarterbacks in the league from the time he came in the league healthy to the time he left the league healthy, or whatever semblance of healthy you could give him. I mean,
look, I get we're in a passing league, and I had this conversation with my cousin about this because my cousin threw some numbers at me.
And we're gonna stop with this old Frank Gore conversation, y'all.
Frank Gore. Who mentioned Frank Gore? Oh, RC?
He had the first person I saw mention Frank Gore.
Okay, I won't touch on that. But let me just say this: I had a conversation with my cousin about this. He threw some numbers at me in regards to the likes of John Elway, Marino, Aaron Rodgers, and those are names. And actually not all those names. John Elway was the name that people were using to compare Andrew Luck to. People were saying that this was the next John Elway.
Yeah.
This was the next guy to come out. He's going to be great. This is going to be another one of those guys. And when I look at Elway's numbers, they're similar. The numbers, his first few games are similar to Luck's. So I give you that. Granted, it was a running league back then during Elway's time. Even when Marino came into the league, still a running league, and yet Marino
he ain't had no running game.
He had no running game.
He was the anomaly.
But Marino was doing some things like unprecedented back
that's
then.
What I'm saying. He's the anomaly. Yeah, like
right.
He's the anomaly. Like,
Right. Based on the expectations for Andrew Luck coming in, and because it's a passing league, and because not just guys like Luck, but maybe 35 to 40% of the other starting quarterbacks were guys that were putting up these throwing numbers and these passing touchdowns and all that stuff. I'm sorry, Andrew Luck was supposed to be more than what he's done, and his numbers are good. His numbers are good. They're just not great.
I don't see how you're saying his numbers aren't great when pretty much every year he's played a full season, he's thrown for over 4,000 yards, except for his second year. I can't fathom how you're saying that. One and two. I feel like the only thing, the only real criticism that you could have of Andrew Luck's career is that it was too short. That's the only real criticism you have, because every single year, statistically, he's performed when he's healthy. Every single year, statistically, he has performed like a top 5 quarterback. At top 10 if we want to stretch, but so if you're saying
I don't think top 10 is a stretch.
If you're saying that he wasn't number 1 in a game with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, where we know why Tom Brady is good as he is, if you're saying that in the games of Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, that's why he hasn't lived up to expectations. I mean, you're talking about legends right there. You're talking about 3 solidified legends.
Sure.
He hasn't even played football long enough to be put into the legend conversation.
Yeah, and I think it's silly that people in RC in the chat just said folks are actually talking about putting Luck in the Hall of Fame. It's I
agree. Ridiculous. No, he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But it's not because of his numbers. It's because he hasn't been in the league long enough. You can't put.
Well, yes, I mean, yeah.
That's why, though.
Yeah, no, I agree with that point. But what I'm saying, and I think ABM is getting to where I'm getting to here. 4,000 yards is not impressive in today's game.
That's not true.
The rules allow easy access.
That's not true. Hold on. I'm sorry. That's not true.
ABM, call up, man.
4,000 yards is not. 4,000 yards is the mark now. That's the mark.
But half the league is doing that.
Half the league is not doing that.
Yes, they are.
There's a number of quarters. 5,000 yards, 4,500 yards is impressive. 5,000 yards is. I'm the best in the game.
5,000 is.
It's like I'm the best in the game.
It's probably about that.
Yeah,
but
everybody ain't throwing for 4,000 yards. I'm confident. I am confident. 32 teams. I'm confident that 15 quarterbacks are not throwing 4,000 yards.
Man, you about to.
I'm confident in that.
Man, you about to. And if it wasn't this past year, we can go back to
because
previous years.
Everybody doesn't throw 4,000 yards. Everybody doesn't do it.
What, man, you about to make me.
That's back when. See, this time 10 years ago, 3,000 yards was the century mark. So now that it became more of a passing league, 4,000 yards started to become the century mark if you're a good quarterback. Everybody's not doing that.
Well, yeah, I didn't say everybody.
Half the league ain't doing that.
I believe half the league is throwing for 4,000 yards, and just like ABM said, if you're throwing 4,000 yards, maybe a little bit more than that, it's not impressive.
That's
like
crazy
Cats,
that y'all think that.
Like Cats. But this is what Cats is saying, and I kind of agree. Like
that's crazy that y'all are saying that.
Look,
nobody. It's only one person a year literally, that's throwing 5,000 yards a year, every year.
Right. And
maybe
Breeze.
two.
Okay.
If you want to count how Mahomes is throwing in that year that Stafford got hot.
Okay.
But outside of that,
okay,
ain't nobody throwing 5,000 yards. The 4,500 yards is like, okay, you wanted the upper echelon. 5,000 yards is nobody doing it. 4,000 yards is the new 3,000 yards a season like it was 10 years ago. But that's impressive. That's everybody's not doing that.
4,000.
Half the league ain't doing that.
Oh man, if this thing would just
this is no way, and there is no way that half the league is throwing 4,000.
We're gonna find out. Okay, you're right.
100%.
12 guys.
There's no way.
12 guys.
There is no way.
12 guys last year.
So that means there are. What's 32 minus 12?
No, this was
20 players that are not throwing 4,000 yards. Quarterbacks.
Okay.
Upper echelon list.
Okay. In 2017, only 8 guys. Okay.
It's not happening. That's impressive. RC says average quarterback Kirk Cousins threw for 4,000 yards for the last 4 years. This was y'all gotta stop this.
He's spitting some facts though.
Why is Kirk Cousins average though? Keep it a bean.
You said why?
Why is Kirk Cousins average? And I agree that he's average, but why is he average?
Why is he average?
Why is Kirk Cousins average?
Because he's not clutch.
Because he's not clutch. Stop acting like he don't know how to throw the ball though.
Kirk Cousins can throw the ball.
He's a good quarterback. The problem,
and that's my point. He's good. He's not great. And that's my point about Andrew Luck is that he's been good.
So we're talking about 20 quarterbacks that are not good. Then, if we're going by your scale, then there are 20 quarterbacks in the NFL that aren't good.
But some of those quarterbacks been in the league longer.
That's not my concern. There are 20.
But that's a fact.
If your scale, because let's be clear, we just saw the stats.
Sure.
There are 12 quarterbacks last year that threw for 4,000 yards.
Right.
And we're considering those to be good quarterbacks if that's not impressive.
Well, some of those guys, we know some of those guys are great.
Let me ask, here's a better question. Mm-hmm. What is the threshold for being a good quarterback if 4,000 yards ain't impressive?
If 4,000 yards is not, what's the threshold for being a good quarterback? What's
the threshold for being an impressive quarterback if 4,000 yards isn't? If 4,000 ain't the threshold, Where's Tom Brady's? Where did Tom Brady rank in that stat list?
Again, Brady been in the league 2 decades.
Hold on, no, that's not what I asked you. Statistically, where did Tom Brady land in that list you just pulled up?
Oh, he probably was much lower than that because he had a down year. He probably was much lower than that. But we're talking Tom Brady. We're not talking...
Tom Brady is a great quarterback.
Yes.
Who didn't throw for 4,000 yards.
He did.
Oh, he did? Okay.
He did.
Okay.
He did.
Okay.
But, I mean, his numbers were down. But he did.
No. His numbers aren't down. That's what y'all missing. Go to the year before.
His numbers aren't down.
Go to the year before. Go to the year before. What's that, 4,300?
40. And when I say numbers, I'm not just talking yards. I'm talking touchdowns, interceptions. I'm talking all that. So... 2017.
But we're only talking about yards right now.
Mm-hmm. Tom Brady led the league in passing in 2017
with 4,500. Go to the year before. Nobody. Y'all tripping.
But get in. You're comparing Tom Brady to Andrew Luck. Tom Brady has been in the league for 2 decades, and it's over a period of time. He's proven that he's great.
I'm not comparing. But. The reason why you can say that Tom Brady is great and Andrew Luck isn't is because he's had the time. So what I'm saying is that he's lived up to his expectations. If your argument is he hasn't lived up to his expectations because his career was too short, fine. Nobody's going to tell me.
That's part of it.
Nobody is going to tell me that Andrew Luck wasn't one of the better quarterbacks since he's been in the league because of stats. That's false.
He's a good
top
quarterback.
10, and in his rookie year, we're just talking about his rookie year because I haven't came off the damn. We're just talking about his rookie year, what he's done in his rookie year. 4,300 yards in his rookie season. 7 game-winning drives as a rookie. 7 fourth quarter comebacks as a rookie. Most passing yards most passing yards in his first 2 years. Most passing yards for a quarterback for his first 3. Most passing yards for a quarterback through his first 5. Most consecutive 350-yard passing games on the road. What are we talking about?
If that man's turnovers was less, I'll think about it.
All right, man.
But that the man look, he threw for touchdowns. Don't get me wrong, he threw for touchdowns, but niggas don't take in consideration the amount of times he turned the ball over. But if those turnover numbers are less than that,
so you're saying the only thing that stops you from saying he's great is his turnovers?
The turnover.
Brett Favre is great. He's leader in turnovers.
He's had a longer career. We're talking about Andrew Luck's career up to this point.
But I'm only speaking on what you're calling your argument. If you're saying your argument is based on turnovers, as to why Andrew Luck is not great.
Andrew Luck.
I'm talking about Andrew Luck.
Yes.
If you're saying his argument is based on turnovers, there are great quarterbacks who had high number of turnovers.
Yes.
So if you're I'm only speaking to what you're calling your argument.
Okay.
If your argument is based on turnovers, there are plenty of great quarterbacks who have high turnover numbers. That's a fact. Okay? If your argument is he hasn't had enough time in the league, no argument. If your argument is about his stats not being comparable to great quarterbacks, that is a flat out false comparison, because his stats are just as good as pretty much any great quarterback that you can name.
Look at Aaron Rodgers' stats, and look at how many times Aaron Rodgers has turned the football over.
Again, we just dealt with the turnover thing. If your argument is turnovers, there are great quarterbacks who have high turnover numbers
that have been in the league for 10 plus seasons.
So if your argument is that, I'm agreeing with you. If your argument is only that, but you keep mentioning stats. If you're going to mention stats,
because all of that is part of why I'm not putting him in the great category.
But where we're disagreeing is that how can you say that if there are other players that have some of the same same stats that he has,
same stats in the same amount of years that person has played?
Okay,
that's where I'm. That's right. Where I'm going with this.
To put a button on the conversation is you can only base a player on what he's done.
Sure.
Is that true?
Sure. And I'm saying that from the time he got in the league to his retirement over the weekend, he was a good quarterback. I'm not saying he's a bum.
He's a good quarterback. I get it. I don't understand how you're not saying through his career he wasn't a top 10 great quarterback.
Well, now you're throwing. I didn't mention top 10 or anything.
Okay, great.
I'm just saying,
if you're top 10 for 7 years, you're a great quarterback.
Okay, look.
I'm not saying Hall of Fame quarterback. I'm saying a great fucking quarterback.
Look, offensively he put up good numbers.
He only played offensively.
The problem is that the turnovers are high, and he hasn't played long. Yeah. And all my point is that he hasn't lived up to the expectations. Thus, I'm putting him in the good category. So he had a good career while he was in the league, 7 years, 5.5, healthy. Yeah. He had a good career. I wouldn't put him in the great category.
Yeah, listen.
Now, if he didn't retire and he went on and he blew the league out the water, then yeah, I'll put him in the great category.
So how many years does he have to put up stats like that to be great, to be considered great in your book?
I'd say 10. I'd say 10 years. 10 fully healthy years is what I would do. How do you
feel about Pat Mahomes?
How do I feel about Pat Mahomes?
Is he a great quarterback?
He had a great year.
Is he a great quarterback?
Now, come on, you're gonna compare 1 year of Pat?
Why? Is he a great quarterback?
Why? From what we've seen, yes.
So how can you say he's a great quarterback and not Andrew Luck?
Dude,
and he only did it for 1 year.
Dude, because of the numbers he put up.
So he plays. Hold on. You said greatness is based on 10 years of production.
Okay, it's a dude. You're trying to put one thing. I'm combining stats, tenure in the league.
There's no
turnover,
way.
touchdown ratio. I'm comparing all of that.
There's no way in hell that you expect me to well,
I don't expect anything. I'm just telling you how it is.
No way Patrick Mahomes, to your standard, is a great quarterback.
Why? I said he had a great year.
So if he come back next year and beat some ass, he's still a great quarterback?
No, I said he had a great year.
And I just asked you, but you said yes, he's a great quarterback. You didn't answer my question. You said yes.
Because that's all we've seen of him.
So how can you say about him and not of Andrew Luck? All we've seen of Andrew Luck when he's healthy is greatness. So how can't you say that about Andrew Luck?
That's great.
When he's healthy, all you've seen of Andrew Luck is greatness.
No,
even when
I wouldn't call that greatness.
Stop capping.
I wouldn't.
In every game you're talking about where he threw 3 interceptions or something like that, damn near every single one of them games, he was coming back and winning those games.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Every one of those games.
I mentioned that he did that the first year. I mentioned that. I said I give him credit for coming into the league the first year and taking over a 2-14 team, had 7 come from behind wins, took that team to the playoffs. I give him credit for that. We gotta move on. Sure,
I'm gonna say in rebuttal, and you can. I don't want to share this no more longer. You are bugging in my opinion, you are bugging by saying that Patrick Mahomes is great and Andrew Luck isn't,
based off of what we've seen.
But you just said
you're comparing a guy that had 1 year, really a historical year. You're comparing a guy who had 1 historical year, his first year, to a guy that's been, so far of what we've seen.
That makes him great.
So far of what we've seen, yes.
So he's a great quarterback.
Yes. What else do we have to go off of?
The fact that the fact that he don't got no resume. We can go off of that. We can go off the fact that he don't got a resume.
Okay, but
he don't got a resume.
Well, you're not proving my point there, but the guy had an historical year.
That don't make him great. It means he had a good year. A great year.
Okay.
That don't make him a great quarterback. It means he had a great year.
So realistically, he's a good quarterback?
Yes.
He's not great?
He's not great. We don't have nothing to go off of.
We have that 1 year to go off of.
He had a great year.
Yeah, he had a
That don't make him a great quarterback. That means he had a great year.
Okay, look. Andrew Luck is good. He's not going to the Hall of Fame. I'll be on my Royce White and say I'll slap anybody that puts Andrew Luck in the Hall of Fame. He's had a good career. I don't think he was great. I don't think he lived up to the expectations up to this point. I do think if he would have stretched his career out longer, obviously he would have did those things.
But Pat Mahomes is a Hall of Famer.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. There you go. There you go, fam.
Great. He's great.
He had a great year.
And you said he was great because of it.
He had a great. Well, not just the numbers. Look at the dude's skill set.
Look at Andrew Luck's skill set. And I'm not at all saying that Andrew Luck's skill set is greater than Patrick Mahomes. I don't believe that. But don't sit here and act like Andrew Luck's skill set is garbage.
I didn't say that.
Andrew's skill set is top 10. Andrew Luck's skill set is top 10.
Andrew Luck has a... I'll say this, and this is why I brought up Aaron Rodgers. Andrew Luck, you can argue, almost has a similar skill set to Aaron Rodgers.
Nah, Aaron Rodgers' skill set is way above Andrew Luck's.
You think it's way above?
I think it's way above. I think it's Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and everybody else. If we're just talking about skill set.
I'm talking about skill set.
Aaron Rodgers and everybody else in the bullpen.
I personally think from a physical standpoint,
Cam Newton.
I think
Cam Newton is
Cam. Okay, yeah, we can throw Cam in there. And
if you're just talking about skill set,
right? RC mentioned Cam. He said compare Luck to Cam and Russell Wilson. That's more comparable considering how long they played. Okay, I mean, if you want to do that, yeah, I mean, I don't mind that. But from a skill set standpoint, to me, Andrew Luck almost has a similar skill set to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, we disagree there.
So
yeah, real quick, Dwight Howard signs with the Lakers. Obviously, on the heels of DeMarcus Cousins injuring his ACL, being out for the year, they needed needed somebody to take that role. How do you feel about Dwight Howard with the Lakers? I'm not mad at it personally.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's just another one of those.
It's just somebody for the gap.
It's just kind of like last year when they was getting Lance Stevenson and Rondo and McGee and all these guys. It was just like, okay. But again, where's the shooters at? So, and I know that's not the narrative this season, even though I think you look at this roster, you still don't have
I
shooters.
don't really believe in the shooters.
I really don't. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
They got some guys, but not nobody. I'm like, okay.
I think they had a little more than last offseason.
Yeah.
But I think my response to Dwight being there is like, okay. Like, but I tell you this, though. Somebody had a conversation with me about Dwight, and people are not going to like this. Dwight Howard's a Hall of Famer. Whether folks,
I think we had this conversation months ago with somebody, and somebody saying that I do believe that he's a Hall of Famer, but I can't tell you why. If that makes any sense at all, I
can tell you why.
Okay.
The Defensive Player of the Year awards, the averaging a double. I mean, in his career, he's averaging a double. Granted, he doesn't have a title. He took a team to the finals. Because there was a stretch. I don't know how many All-Star appearances he had.
It's safe to say he's been garbage since he left the Orlando Magic. Is that safe to say?
Yes, and I would say that, and I agree with you there because of we go back to numbers, but the numbers in Orlando were so great compared to like the 12 and 10. That he had in Atlanta and Charlotte and all that.
I think it's more about what he's contributed to Orlando, being that nobody. I don't think anybody looked at that roster at the beginning of that year in 2012 and said, "Yo, this is a squad right here."
2012. Oh yeah, that was a year.
I don't think nobody looked at this squad and said, "This is a squad." Like, you know what I'm saying?
The Steve Nash years.
We talking about people like Jameer Nelson, who is a solid point guard. Mm-hmm. But who's that Turkoglu? Like
Turkoglu, Michael Petras.
Yeah, like we're not talking about
Rashard
guys.
Lewis.
Yeah, we're not looking at guys that's like, yo, we got a squad right here. These are guys who are middle tier guys, good solid players who put enough together. Enough guys averaging 15 here and 15 there. Excuse me.
13 rebounds for his career on average. 13 rebounds, 17 points a game for his career, 2 blocks. They're not gaudy. Yeah, they're not gaudy. But I think when you kind of dig a little deeper into the seasons, I think you have to look at obviously what he did in Orlando was pretty special, and then we got hurt a few times.
He's been hurt pretty much.
I guess pretty much since he left the Lakers, he's been injury prone. The 3 years in Houston,
wash.
They were a wash. It's crazy. He put up, what was his numbers in Houston? 12 and 6, 16 and 12. Like it's almost close to his career average. But but I guess is like when you look at him like physically. You just know he just doesn't have it.
He just ain't dunking like he used to be. That's what it was. Like
the highlights.
He ain't yamming like he used to. He ain't catching alleys like he used to.
Yep.
He ain't blocking like I think where we felt like he was his best is because he, like you said, he never had impressive per se numbers. He had solid numbers.
Yeah, there were 4 seasons where he was above 20 points a game.
So he had solid numbers. For the majority of his career, but back then he was doing it with the highlights. Right. And when the highlights left, his career left.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I also think when you take season by season, the points per game, the rebounds per game, there is somewhat of a consistency there. We just know that if you take the Orlando season and put it side by side with the Houston seasons
or any season
or any other teams he was on, you're gonna see some night and day type numbers there. So, but I as folks are not gonna like it, but Dwight Howard's a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So while we on NBA, the Kings cease investigation on Luke Walton as a sexual assault. No surprise there.
Why wasn't this like? And I understand, like,
there clearly was nothing to hold this man on. That's what I feel like.
Okay, no, and that could be true. That's possible that there was nothing to hold him on. But I just feel like, and we gonna talk about this because we the barbershop. if this man was African American, this would
Maybe.
be, people would be talking about this on a daily basis. This story was kind of shoved away.
Well,
for a while.
would they be talking about it on a day to day if there was no audio, no visual, no, you know what I'm saying? What it smells of to me is somebody lying. And when I mean somebody lying, namely
the girl,
that female.
the girl. No question.
That's what
about
it smells of. I don't know that to be true. Not accusing her or anything. I'm just telling her I'm just saying what it looked like. Mm-hmm. It looks like somebody was lying. Somebody was embellishing on what happened, what transpired.
Yeah. So I did pull the story up, and if I could just find it real quick, there was something where they said that they wanted her to be a part of the investigation, they being the Kings and the NBA.
Okay.
And that she declined to be a part of the investigation.
That's super wild.
So if that's true, then yes, I could see where this whole thing gets dropped.
Yeah.
I totally see that. My only beef is that, when it's the whole race thing. If, Luke Walton's got a lot of protection. I mean, his dad is,
wig,
Hall
white.
of Famer. Yeah.
Certainly got a lot of protection.
He's got a lot of protection. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know if this was like, let's say this was Nate McMillan. I think his name would get dragged through the mud a little bit.
Okay.
That's
fair.
Until
something comes up
lying. where it says the girl's lying. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I got you. I'm with you.
So
I'm with you.
Hey, it is what it is, man.
Yep, but good for him. He can coach basketball.
Yep.
So the moment we've been waiting for.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And obviously, folks, y'all in the chat room and folks out there listening, y'all can definitely pitch in on the fun here.
Yep.
We're doing our top 5 list.
Don't call.
You don't want nobody to call? All right.
I mean, I'm just lying because if you call that answer.
If
you call that answer.
Because I was going to enforce it some more. Don't call us.
Because here's the thing. We are at an hour and a half right about now.
And this is going to get dragged out.
This may get dragged out. So we don't need your damn phone calls dragging it out, even if you got a good point. At this moment, for time consumption, I don't care.
Well, listen.
But you can write it in the chat room and be sure.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting ready to say. Folks,
you can do that.
You guys want to put your top 5 list in the chat room?
I would even love chat room, X Squad affiliates, people who are listening to the show. I would even love if y'all would post y'all top 5 and send it to our Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast.
There you go.
So we could repost it. I would love that. So we're doing top 5 per positions.
Yep.
This year, I think I can speak for both of us when I say the criteria was based on what they've done in the past and what their expectations are this year. Their projections are this year.
Absolutely.
So with that said, we're going to start with offense. We're going to do quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and kicker.
Yep.
Then we'll do defense, pass rushers, safeties, and cornerbacks.
Yes, sir.
So we want to start with quarterbacks.
Yeah, let's start with the quarterbacks, man. Let's start with it, man.
You go ahead, man, since I introduced.
All right, man. So number 5, I got Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. Number 4, Matt Ryan, because he's still putting up, some good numbers. And, I mean, last year he put up some really good numbers on a team that was just decimated with injuries. Number 3, Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers. Number 1, the homie Patty Mahomes, man.
Left out Drew Brees.
And I left out Drew Brees. Okay. I left out Drew Brees. Yep.
From number 5, Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
Russell Wilson at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Brees at 2.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes at 1.
Okay. All right. We agree on 3.
Matt Ryan. I'm assuming that Matt Ryan has a lot to do with Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, though.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Combined with some of the numbers last year.
It's not so much. So if we're basing it on stats, I guess I could see Ryan there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't
And
I don't believe the Falcons.
Okay,
and a lot of that is based on Matt Ryan.
Right, and I was going to say I believe the Falcons this year in a sense that they'll make the playoffs.
Okay,
this year, and in order for that to happen, he's got to be the dude.
I'm not so sure because the Saints can rush the passer.
Yep.
And if Matt Ryan got
Carolina can do the same.
If they got to be pass rushed, Matt Ryan is done. Period.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
How's that offensive line for the Falcons, though?
I don't believe it to be amazing. I don't know. I don't watch enough Falcons.
Right,
but I don't believe it to be amazing.
Yeah, I don't think it's amazing. I think it's good enough. I think it's good enough.
I hope so for your picks. But I think in my picks, Drew Brees throws fast enough, and the rest of those guys know how to get out of pressure.
Now, here's my thing with Drew Brees. He's older, and yes, he could still sling it. He could still throw it. It's a bold prediction, and I know it's a bold prediction, but I feel like the Saints are going to want to run more just so they could preserve Drew Brees.
I think that between Michael Thomas and Jared Cook, who is now in New Orleans.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, Jared Cook is in New Orleans.
Okay, good pickup.
Yeah, that's going to be a good pickup.
Good pickup.
That's going to work wonders for Brees and for Cook, for that matter. Running back.
Number 5, I got Phillip Lindsay. Number 4, Todd Gurley. Number 3, Dalvin Cook.
Wow. Number
2, Ezekiel Elliott. And number 1, the homie Saquon, man.
Saquon Barkley. No Le'Veon Bell for you.
No.
Okay.
That was a tough. It
wasn't tough for me. So
it was a tough one. And I'm just talking about to leave him out.
Yeah, I got you.
To leave him out, but I just think
Dalvin Cook over Le'Veon Bell, huh?
Yeah, man. The Vikings got to run the football, man. I'm tired of this Kirk Cousins slinging and stuff.
For all intents and purposes, Dalvin Cook took one home the other day. Took one to the house, 85 yards.
Yep.
So I guess you would take that and assume that maybe he's back, healthy. 100%.
Yeah. Because when he's healthy, he's really good. It's just he just hasn't.
But we just haven't been healthy long enough for me to say that. So
that's the thing.
He is. I still have a question mark behind him and who he translates in the NFL.
Right.
For me, number 5. This is more of a projection pick than it is a history pick. But Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
Number 5. Number 4. Everything else. Todd Gurley 4. Le'Veon Bell 3. Ezekiel Elliott 2. Saquon Barkley number 1.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So same. We got 3.
Pretty safe.
Of the 5.
Pretty safe.
Yeah. Bell is not a bad choice.
I just don't see that. I don't see how or why they wouldn't be feeding him.
The Jets have to feed that guy.
Yeah, like pretty much the same way he's getting fed. He was getting fed in Pittsburgh.
And I guess the question, if it is one about Le'Veon, is how he's going to be after a year off. And I would like to think and believe that he's kept himself in pretty good shape.
The only question that I have with Le'Veon Bell is, has the offensive line learned how to block for him? He doesn't run like running backs run.
That's a good point.
Very specific style, and he takes a long time to do what he does.
Yep. That's a good point.
How is that going to affect him?
Chemistry issue with the offensive line. Yeah,
right.
That's true.
But I fully intend Sam Darnold to lean on him. 400 touches is definitely going to happen this year. I don't see stats not coming from 400 touches.
Right.
Wide receiver. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about McCaffrey. That's not a bad pick for top 5. And quite frankly, if the Panthers are smart, they would just feed that guy, especially if now Cam's hurt. And if he doesn't go week 1 or beyond that, then the offense is going to run through Christian McCaffrey.
And then North Turner is their offensive coordinator this year. He's going to get the ball out of whoever quarterback it is. He's getting that ball out of his hand quick.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's not going to play with him.
Wide receivers. Number 5, Adam Thielen. Number 4, Julio Jones. Number 3, ODB. Number 2, Mike Thomas. And number 1, DeAndre Hopkins.
Number 5.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and say
drum roll.
it. Go ahead and say it.
Juju Smith-Schuster at number motherfucking 5. We got something to prove. And Ben Roethlisberger, you know, one thing about Ben Roethlisberger is when he like you, he likes you. And meaning what you do on the field. I don't mean you as a person. No homo. What you do on the field, if he, it's very clear that, I say it's very clear because I watched the preseason game Sunday. Mm-hmm. He was forcing him the ball. He was forcing Juju Smith to shoot the ball.
I saw
him. In the way, and almost the way that he used to force Antonio Brown the ball. Mm-hmm. There was so many situations where Roethlisberger shouldn't have thrown that ball to Antonio Brown. Mm-hmm. He threw it. It got through. And we're praising Antonio Brown. Not to say Antonio Brown shouldn't be praised because he made the catch. Mm-hmm. But he's going to give him them opportunities to shine. I think he's going to do such.
Okay.
Number 4, Michael Thomas. Number 3, AB. I get it. I don't like Derek Carr for him. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to respect AB as the number 1 guy
you see a fall off.
Exactly.
I got you.
Exactly.
I got you.
Number 2, Julio Jones. I think Julio Jones to me is one of the most quiet, high stat people ever, in my opinion. Like, and maybe it's based on injuries, maybe it's based on
and
playoff
he was quiet
success
last year.
Yeah, maybe it's based on playoff success. I don't know. I don't know that. And yes, everybody regards him as a top 2, top 3 receiver.
Yep.
I don't know that he's ever had that year, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel like he's ever had that year. Statistically, he's always been there. I don't know if he's ever had that year where it's like, it is on. Like, he is that dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where
he's had a couple years.
Where highlights meet stats. I don't know if we had that year from
the Super Bowl year for certain.
Yeah, I don't know if he's had that year. I don't know if he's had that year where highlights meet his stats.
Right.
And I anticipate that's going to happen this year with Calvin Ridley being another, guy that people I think are going to take serious this year. Right.
Mocha Bella, I'm sorry. How are you, Miss Mocha Bella? Good evening.
She love getting some shine.
Good evening, Miss
Mocha Bella. Hey, I don't know if you missed this segment, but I'm a fan of the U.
I just need to get a turnover change.
I'm officially a fan of the U. My stepfather's nephew is Jaron Williams. So by association, I am officially a fan of the U. Now, I may never watch a game, but I will. But whenever y'all say something to me about Jaron Williams or the U, I'm supporting. So I'm with you, girl. I'm a fan of the U. It's official.
Hey, Mocha, I just need you to hook me up with a Dookie chain, man. That's all I care about. Mo Cheese, what's up, man?
What's happening?
What's up? Hey, man, put your top 5 in there, man. We're doing top 5 quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, all the positions on offense and defense.
Holly Newsome.
Yeah. Hey, Holly. Hey, Melvin. What's up? What's going on?
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
All right. And my number 1 was DeAndre Hopkins, just to close that out.
Yep,
my number 1 was DeAndre Hopkins. And Big L just got into the chat room.
What's up, Big L?
What's happening?
What's good, man? Hey, put your top 5 positions in there, man.
Top 5 tight ends.
Okay. Top 5. So my number 5, and I hate this because it's a division rival, but the dude was pretty good last year. Njoku for the Cleveland Browns at number 5. Number 4, Mark Andrews, I think is going to be pretty good, a pretty good tight end, and they're going to feed him the ball a lot this year. Number 3, George Kittle with the Niners. Number 2, Zach Ertz with Philly, and number 1, Travis Kelce.
I forgot about Zach Ertz, and that's what's going to get him out of there.
Oh, snap.
I forgot about Zach Ertz.
Okay.
All right, number 5. Here we go again. Vance McDonald is going to be number 5 on my list.
All right.
Number 4 is going to be Kittles from San Fran. Number 3 is Zach Ertz.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is Jared Cook. I'm really basing that on Drew Brees having a second option.
Mm-hmm. Potential, yep.
Number 1 is Kelsey. And Kelsey still got a bad-ass girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And I
No
love
doubt.
her.
No doubt. So, share with us who you, because you forgot about Ertz. So, share with us who you had to take out.
Evan Ingram was going to have a lot of targets.
Ingram?
He was going to have a lot of targets, and that's why I had him.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, because I didn't think about it.
He's going to have a lot of targets.
Yeah, offense, no Odell Beckham and all that stuff. And speaking of Odell Beckham, I noticed you didn't have him in your top 5 receivers. Is that because he's in Cleveland, or
too many balls to be thrown? I don't think he's going to have that same impact.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have the same impact.
Okay.
He's the number 1 guy. He'll have number 1 receiving numbers. I don't think the opportunity to stir up the culture is going to be there.
So is it crazy to predict that Jarvis Landry will have more receptions than Odell Beckham? I don't think that's crazy to say.
I don't think it's crazy to say. I just don't think it'll happen. I think he'll still be the number 1 guy. I think he'll still have number 1 numbers. Mm-hmm. I just think that Jarvis Landry will be right behind him. I think Njoku will be not right behind him, Njoku, but it's just a lot of Duke Johnson is still there for all we know. Mm-hmm. So
Duke Johnson got traded.
But I saw him playing in a preseason game. You sure he got traded?
He got traded somewhere
to the Texans. I thought.
I think.
Then I saw him in a game. So in a Cleveland game, I thought. So and
after the game, I think he got traded.
I'm talking about after it's happened.
After what's happened?
After the trade was announced.
Oh, you're saying you saw
You
saw Duke Johnson in a Texans uniform?
No, I saw him in a Browns uniform. Unless it was another Johnson, like I'm just saying.
Oh,
I thought it was Duke Johnson.
Oh, okay.
But maybe because I'm seeing what you're reading, so maybe I just misread it.
Because I was about to say he got traded. Yeah. I know that.
I remember because we reported it, so I remember that.
I forgot who the team was.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because Lamar Miller get well soon.
Out for the year
with the ACL. Kickers.
Hold on, I just want to Mocha Bella asks, is Ebron that on your list? No, he was an honorable mention though, and I did consider
he's with the Colts, right?
Yeah, but he's definitely not on my list now.
Yeah, especially not after Andrew Luck.
Definitely not on my list now.
But she 334. What's up, man?
What's happening? Long time.
Delaney Walker, Irv Smith, OJ Howard, and Kelsey.
Who the hell is Irv Smith? If I'm not mistaken, that's a Saints player. And if he's a Saints player, that's going down because Jared Cook is there.
Irv Smith,
Vikings.
No. 19. Oh no, that's the old Irv Smith. Oh, Irv Smith Jr. Right?
I don't know if it's Irv Smith Jr. or not.
I think it is because the senior was born in yeah. So Irv Smith Jr. plays for the Vikings. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't think he's going to be in the top 5.
Okay.
I could see OJ Howard though. I thought of OJ Howard.
OJ Howard's a good pick. Kelsey, obviously.
I don't know if he's a good pick, but I definitely thought of him.
Delaney Walker, if he could be healthy, come back from that injury.
I could see him being there.
I'm not definitely see that.
I'm not mad at him.
I could see that. Irv Smith. Oh, okay. Alabama tight end. So okay. Mm-hmm. That's a bet.
Kickers.
Yep, kickers for me. Number 5 kicker for me is that kid Rojas with the Giants.
Okay.
Number 4, Robbie Gould with the 49ers, still doing his thing. Number 3, Matt Prater with the Lions. Number 2, Fairbairn with the Texans. And number 1, of course, Justin Tucker.
Number 5, Greg Zuerlein with the Rams. Mm-hmm. Will Lutz from the Saints. Mm-hmm. Number 4, Robbie Gould, 49ers. Number 3, Adam Vinatieri gets the OG veteran pass. He's number 2. Number 1, Justin Tucker.
Okay.
But I'm waiting for my mans to get back into kicking form, even though I'm not sure he's going to get there. And Chris Boswell.
Yeah. What a terrible year he had.
Yeah.
But my reason for Rojas is just the field goal percentage was pretty good for him last year, and I'm leaving Jason Myers out with the Jets. He had a pretty good field goal percentage as well last year, so I guess Myers deserves an honorable mention there. Fairbairn had the most field goal attempts, and I would suspect that it goes down a little bit because I expect Deshaun Watson to be better this year. But I think Fairbairn deserves at least the top 5 spot there. So, all right, defense, pass rushers.
Pass rushers. Number 5, D Ford. Number 4, Von Miller. Number 3, Myles Garrett. Number 2, Khalil Mack. Number 1, Aaron Donald.
Okay. All right, for me, number 5, Chris Jones with the Chiefs. Number 4, Von Miller.
Chris Jones. Oh, D Ford is in with San Fran. Gotcha.
Yeah. Number 4, Von Miller. Number 3, Bradley Chubb. Number 2, Khalil Mack. And number 1, Aaron Donald. I think this was a pretty simple,
Hold on, did you left Myles Garrett out?
I did leave Myles Garrett out.
Wow.
I did.
Okay.
I did. And I know he's a beast.
Yeah.
And I know he is. I just think these guys are gonna have some better years.
Hold on, I just want to read RC's top 5 because it.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to.
It mirrors mine literally with Hopkins, Julio Jones, AB, Michael Thomas, and Juju Smith-Schuster. That's literally my list.
Yeah, oh, that's crazy.
That's literally my list.
That's crazy.
We got some wide receiver knowledge, man. Safeties. Number 5, I have Jamal Adams of the Jets. Eddie Jackson of the Chicago Bears. Number 3, the Vikings, Harrison Smith. Number 2, Kevin Byard of the Titans. But I think I have to temper that because if I'm not mistaken, Byard is injured. I'm not.
That I don't know.
I'm not 100% sure, but I leave him there until I confirm. And number 1, Earl Thomas.
Okay. My top 5 safeties. Number 5, Sean Williams with the Bengals had a pretty good year last year. I got him number 5.
Okay.
And it probably the highlights probably didn't show that, but his numbers were pretty good. In terms, he tackled a lot. His tackle numbers are pretty good. Number 4, I got John Johnson. Number 3, Antoine Bethea. Number 2, Jamal Adams with the Jets, and number 1, Eddie Jackson.
Yeah, old Bethea, huh?
Antoine Bethea, yeah. Dude's still...
he's still good. I know that about that.
Yeah. And cornerbacks.
Lastly, but not least, cornerbacks.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay, I got Stephon Gilmore at number 5.
Okay.
Byron Jones of the Dallas Cowboys at number 4. Xavier Howard of the Dolphins at number 3.
Okay.
Patrick Peterson at number 2. Ramsey at number 1.
Okay.
Look, he had a year because he opened his mouth and started talking greasy. And let's be very clear. Who really got off on Jalen Ramsey last year?
No, nobody. And
Tyreek Hill burned him once.
And to further expand to that point, the Jaguars, defensively as a whole, was not bad last year. Yeah. They weren't bad.
Except for that Dallas game.
Yeah, right.
That was it.
Yeah. Pretty much. They weren't bad. Except you can't lose to the Bills, but that wasn't their fault. Yeah. That wasn't their fault. So, my corners, top 5. Number 5, I'm with you, Stephon Gilmore. Number 4, I got Marlon Humphrey. Number 3, Darius Slay with Detroit. Number 2, Kyle Fuller with the Bears. And number 1, Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, let's be clear.
And as far as your Patrick Peterson pick, I would have probably put him in there had he not gotten himself suspended for the first few games. So that's why I had to leave him out.
Okay.
So
334 Bama says safeties: Landon Collins, Eddie Jackson, Minka Fitzpatrick. Those are my safeties, and I don't care about anybody else.
All 3 of those have in common, right?
I was waiting. Okay.
That's why I'm laughing.
Gotcha.
Hey, 334, man. That's a good list.
Brother.
That's a good list, man.
You are definitely allowed to pick.
As long as you ain't mentioning no scrubs, man, it's all good.
I mean, Minka I don't know much about Minka Fitzpatrick, so
he's with the Bengals, right?
Is he?
I thought Minka Fitzpatrick.
I know there
is
a Fitzpatrick there, but I don't know. I don't know where Minka Fitzpatrick is.
Yeah, I think he plays with the Bengals.
Okay.
I'm not 100% on that. But no, he's not a bad corner. He's solid. Landon Collins, Eddie Jackson, yeah, those guys are pretty good guys.
Dolphins, he says.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who's the Fitzpatrick? Drake Kirkpatrick.
Right.
That's who I'm. Okay, that's who I'm mixing them up with. Okay. RC's top 5 running backs. He's got Zeke, Saquon, Alvin Kamara, good one. Le'Veon Bell.
I had a difficulty. I struggled with leaving Kamara out.
Mm-hmm. And Dalvin Cook.
Good.
And here's my explanation for Alvin Kamara being off my list. I just think that the Saints are going to split carries again, and it shouldn't take away from him.
Who's the other back?
Latavius Murray.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I and not that Kamara's
I don't know if Latavius
not
Murray
a good back or top 5.
I don't know if Latavius Murray gets 10 carries. 10 touches.
So you don't think he's going to be what Mark Ingram was to help balance out the attack?
I mean, sure, it's possible. I don't know though. I don't know about that.
Okay. I just have a feeling they want to preserve Kamara. I really feel that way. I mean, I don't know if he's a guy that could take that punishment. You know what I'm saying? I think they want to split those carries. Big Kev 303. What's going on, man? You kind of mad late, but it's all good.
It's all right.
It's all good.
Well, I don't want to stretch the show, but I do want to say this before we leave. And I meant to mention it when we were talking about Dwight Howard.
Mm-hmm.
DeMarcus Cousins, earlier today I read he got he's in the news for audio of him threatening to shoot his ex-girlfriend for not letting his son attend, whatever function he was trying to get his son to attend.
It was a wedding.
It was a wedding, okay.
Yep.
And I'll be quick. I don't know if you were serious, and truthfully, I don't care because it ain't my business. But you can't get caught saying no shit like that on audio, and because we don't know if you're serious or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just don't know if you're serious or not.
Yeah,
and so I hope everything goes well for you, but that just ain't the move. And if you're doing that to your ex-girlfriend on a regular basis, that's not the move, my G. That's just not the move.
Yeah, and with the audio, and I'll be quick too, with the audio, it sounds to me like this is not the first time that he said something crazy like that to her. And so, and because of the way the audio ended, like after he said what he said about I'll pull a bullet in your head if you don't let my son come to the wedding, she said, all right. It was just a simple, all right, as if, he says this plenty of times. It's nothing. It's no big deal. But the more he says it, the more it could get to that situation. What if you don't do anything about it and all of a sudden, something happens where he does?
I hope you didn't mean that.
Dare I say put a bullet in your head.
Let me just say that. I hope you didn't mean it. And even if you didn't mean it, I hate that you got caught saying it. And but you did get caught saying it for precautionary measures.
I hate that he said it though.
For precautionary measures, you got to get dragged through the mud. Yeah. I don't know if he's going to be dragged through the mud, but he definitely should be.
For this, I mean, in this type of culture now, in this climate, there's just some stuff that, and again, I'll say it again. I'm upset he said it more so than he got caught. Because that's just something that you just don't say, even if y'all feel like y'all was just playing. But that play could turn into something real.
That's it. His son attending his wedding didn't seem like this was a joking matter.
It didn't.
Yeah.
And if I'm all for DeMarcus Cousins wanting his son to be
and being
at
upset
a wedding.
about it,
I'm all for that. If you're upset about it, cool. That's something that, dads should be upset about.
Yeah.
For certain, but you can't say you're going to put a bullet in your son's mother's head.
Cut it out, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Cut it out.
That's just something you can't say.
Yeah.
And I think, and sadly to say, combine this with him being out for the season, tearing his ACL, tearing the ACL, getting injured again. I think this is the end of DeMarcus Cousins as we know it. And I'm just talking from a production basketball standpoint. I just don't know how he recovers from this,
man.
And financially, it's terrible too. I mean, aside from the physical, financially, all the money that he could have made, but the injury to the Achilles plus this, it's terrible.
Yeah,
it's just terrible.
Yeah.
So, RC in the chat, I want to read his top 5 quarterbacks. He's got Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, and Cam Newton. So, yeah, 4 of my 5.
Yeah.
So I'll have to reserve judgment on the Cam thing because the injury to Cam is a little shaky to me.
I think if healthy, his stock could come up because not necessarily top 5, but it'll come up.
It'll come up
because North Turner. I think North Turner is going to get him right.
Yep, I hear you. All right, y'all. Just a few shout outs here, real quick. The X Squad affiliates in the chat room. We appreciate you guys chiming in. Also to the folks out there listening, all over the country, all over overseas. We get a lot of overseas plays, so we appreciate that. Just a few reminders before we get up on out of here. Are you gonna play that, or you just wanna?
Yeah, we'll play.
Run through.
We already. Yeah, you could just sign off.
All right. Yeah, I wanted to make sure because I know we had that talk, and then I saw it there, so I was like, okay. All right, that's it for the show. And if Maestro, you got nothing else to say?
No, sir.
All right, we out of here, folks. See you next week. Peace.
This episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast can be listened to on barbershopsportstalkpodcast.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. You can follow us on our Instagram at Barbershop Sport Talk Podcast, on our Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2, the Facebook page, and our YouTube page. If you have any questions or comments about the show, or if you want to be a guest, please email the show at barbershopsportstalk1